you like to share a little bit about what you're working on?
Oh, sure. I'm so excited about this one. I'm actually over 20 books that I've published so far, and mainly I have worked with nonfiction and also with Ojibwe language work. So I've done, recording of stories of elders and transcription, translation work, things like that. But I wrote my first novel, work of fiction, and it's a young adult novel called Where Wolves Don't Die. And it's the story of a 15-year-old native kid who, I guess he's kind of looking for clues to a murder, but kind of finds himself in the process. So it's, gets into trouble and gets sent to the family's equivalent of juvie to go run a trap line with his grandfather in the Canadian wilderness. And so it's both a thriller, but also kind of a tender coming-of-age story. And I really had a great experience writing it. I read it out loud in kind of chapters to my kids, ages 12, 14, 17 now, but I guess 16 at the time I was reading, and got their feedback and stuff. And so I was just really excited by their response to it as we were going. And I think, I think honestly, even in native lit, that too is an evolving space. So it has taken a long time just to have native voices telling stories and to have them in empowered positions. And of course, Minnesota's Louise Erdrich won a Pulitzer Prize, and it's taking off. And Angeline Boulley is on a New York Times bestseller list for 30 months in a row, doing great. And so all of that is very encouraging. But also, I think even within the native lit space, a lot of the stories, a lot of the characters, are dealing with, I wish I knew something about my culture, because residential boarding schools. Or, I have been sexually assaulted, but I have resiliency, And I wanted to do something that would give a different view, a look at living, vibrant, native culture, not culture that we wish we had and can only imagine, but more like what I see and live and do with my own kids. And so I think it provides a window into that in a way that native lit hasn't done as well. And although people have struggles and there is tension and all of that in the storytelling, it's not just another sexual assault somebody has to barrel through. Not that that isn't something that we need to think about, but we've had a lot of that. And then also, I think in literature broadly, there's been a movement recently, which I think has been healthy and positive, to say, let's look at empowered, women's voices and start holding them up a little bit more. Let's look at a diversity of gender identities, and let's center some of those voices too. And all of that it's emerging work, and we need much more of it. But it's encouraging to see. I think there's also been this kind of analysis of toxic masculinity stuff. But one of the things we haven't had enough of is an example of, here's what healthy, positive masculinity is. Here's what it looks like for a boy going through stuff to find his way to that. And so I think it does that too, and I'm really excited about what that can mean and deliver. So anyways, more to say about that, but Where Wolves Don't Die, it formally releases June 18th, but it's up for pre-orders on Amazon and things like that.
Sounds great. Well, how about just once again thanking Dr. Treuer for being here with us today.